し生まれ変わったらその時はさ
Hello loves, welcome back to another video. So before I start this video, I would like to say I apologize for my voice because I know it's going to get cranky, so I'd like to apologize beforehand. Second off, the music in this video is going to be playing in the background of when I'm actually reading this because I don't feel like recording a video. So hopefully it just don't mess up, yeah? We're gonna go read over it slow, so I'm not gonna be able to edit. But I hope you enjoy it anyways. This is a Hunter x Hunter fanfiction. This is a Kurapika Kurta X Reader, second POV. I believe this is one of my AUs, and this is a leap of faith. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I don't know why I'm like this, Kurapika stated, flopping himself on the couch. Why don't you just tell them? Gon tried to tell him. Because, Gon, Killua shook his head. Kurapika doesn't know how to be honest. That's not true. He was honest when he wanted me to take back what I said about his clan, Lario said, trying to lighten up the depressing mood created by your crush and his friends. Not the time, Lario, Killua stated. Kurapika groaned out, placing his hand in the air and holding it for what felt like ever to him. Killua turned to Gon. Again, what I mean is, Kurapika doesn't know how to explain what he's feeling right now. Oh, I think I get it now. Gon nodded his head in an understanding way. Kurapika started, sitting back up on the couch. Conflicted? Killua tried to guess. No. Kurapika sighed and searched for the right answer to best describe how he felt in this moment. Though he already knew what he was feeling like. He just was exactly that. Too scared to admit what you had done to him. I can't believe this, Kurapika thought. Why am I so scared? Why do they scare me? What exactly did they do to make me this nervous? The poor boy couldn't find an answer to his question. And true, he was both scared and conflicted. Life was so easy when you didn't exist, but now he couldn't stop thinking about you. At first, he thought he was going mad. Then he figured it was just because you gave him comfort somehow. However, as more things in his body began to change whenever he was around you, he came to accept the truth. He fancied you. He did, and now he knew why. You calmed him down when he was in the woods. You melted his cold heart with your warm words. You set his stomach ablaze with your hugs, and no matter what he did, you accepted him with ease. If you made a big mistake, and he thought you'd be mad, you'd face him with a smile and kiss his cheek, leaving him always with the words, "Everyone makes mistakes, love." You're always being the best you can be, always seeing the good in people, always forcing the worst things. Yeah, he knew why he fancies you. He might even go as far as to say he loves you. Because they bring sunlight into my darkness. He smiled and stood from the couch he was lying on. Lario and Killua began bickering again. He didn't mind because his mind was now as clear as a summer day. No clouds hovered above him, no hesitation, no regrets. He was going to tell you all in the end, and if you said no, well, then he'd just have to learn to love you from afar and continue watching over you. Because no matter what you said, he'd never find it in him to stop loving you. He walked down the street to the school where you were working. It was your lunch break, and you were helping a small girl learn her ABCs when Kurapika walked in. He didn't think he'd use it. He thought it was a mistake and he'd just have to return it later. Mostly because you weren't even dating, and it was probably just a random reaction out of the blue. Why in? He breathed, opening the door, looking red like he just ran a marathon. Meanwhile, Killua, Lario, and Gon were rushing out the door after him, wondering what in the world he was so determined to do. They followed him all the way to the school you worked at, and quietly stood behind a bush. What's he doing? Lario asked, squinting his eyes. Start recording. I think he's gonna do it. Killua shoved Gon. Okay. Gon pulled out his phone and turned to the side. like how Killua taught him. Kurapika, what are you doing here? You asked with a happy but confused smile. I just wanted to let you know that. He turned his head to the side. Yes? You asked, walking around the little girl's small desk while patting her on the shoulder. The little girl gave you a weird look. I'm just going to talk with a friend real quick. Continue studying and I'll be back for you before you know it. You smiled at her. The little girl smiled back and continued reading over the alphabet. You and Kurapika walked outside, shutting the door behind you while the other ran around the small playground in front of the school. It wasn't as secluded as Kurapika would have liked, but it was something, and that's all he could have asked for. What is it that you need to tell me? You asked, folding your arms while a warm smile came over your face. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting, he stammered. You almost laughed a little. Why are you stammering? He tensed up and averted his gaze to the ground. A frown then replaced your smile. You punched his arm slightly and again asked, Hey, Kurapika, what's going on? Kurapika took a deep breath and faced you. His gaze and body made direct contact with you. His eyes reached yours and his hands in his coat. Wyan Ellen. As he said those words, your heart dropped due to the fact that he began bending down. Kurapika? You stammered with a slight crack in your voice as tears threatened to fall from your face. Look, Wyan, there's no easy way to ask this, he simply stated. His medium blonde hair began to get brighter in your eyes somehow. Kurapika, what? I think you know what I'm about to ask, but please don't interrupt. I knew it. Killua smirked from behind a tree and pulled out a congratulations balloon out of seemingly nowhere. Oh, Lario and even Gon was concerned. Hush, children, and pay attention. He waved them off with his eyes closed and a baby smirk. Gon huffed and continued recording the scene. Wyan, I love you and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. No matter what you say, I want you to know that I won't ever stop watching over you, even if I die, he said and finally opened the small white box. Will you marry me? Swooped off your feet. That's exactly what you would call yourself if you had to put it into words. The tears were now slowly and quietly dripping down your cheeks. Happiness, confusion, and fear were all things that took over your mind in the moment. You really didn't understand the logic behind everything that happened that day. But what you do know is that it happened, and if you could go back in time, you wouldn't change a single thing, because some things are better left alone. Okay, this was requested by comment on YouTube. And I wrote, I know you wanted a Royal Kurapika ex-listener, but I got this idea, so I'm sorry about that. But I still hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow we're reading a Kenma one, I believe requested by Juniper Reeb. I think I'm right, yeah. So I did make like 5, okay, maybe a little more mistakes than 5, but I'm sorry for that. I'll try to fix my errors, but yeah, bye loves.